Tales from the Lot, episode 10, Feeling All This Love. On this season finale episode, my guest is Eric Sherseth to talk 7-8-95 at Soldier Field. And don't forget, they're watching you party. Hi, welcome to Tales from the Lot. This is Will. My guest today is Eric Sherseth. He's the founder of Planetary Transport Company and also the nonprofit Sustainable Touring for Artists, Musicians, and Performers, or STAMP. He's always working towards the needs of musicians, and he's a bass player himself, and I had the pleasure of being in a band with him for 5 minutes or so until that went away. But anyway, Eric's here to talk about 7-8-95 at Soldier Field and a ton more stuff. And so how's it going, Eric?
It's going well, man.
Awesome.
Good
Thanks
to
for
be
being
here.
on here. Yeah, for sure. So where are you from? Where'd you grow up? What were you into musically? And
Let's see. I grew up in Grand Forks, North Dakota, and went to the University of North Dakota. I was a metalhead in junior high, like Metallica, Ozzy,
nice.
Black Sabbath. I started getting into like Zeppelin and Floyd in like high school.
Nice. Can I ask a quick question? Megadeth or Metallica?
Metallica.
Yeah, all right.
I like Megadeth. I had all their albums, but
Yeah.
I saw Metallica on Justice Tour in '88, and it was amazing.
Hell yeah,
And,
that's a fine time to be seeing Metallica because they're playing that stuff. They're playing Master stuff. They're playing.
Yeah, it was.
It
was
prime
awesome.
Metallica. Cool. All right, I'm sorry.
So, like, I think in high school I bought Skeletons from the Closet on like 13 CD or 13 tapes for a penny or whatever. And I got off on that deal. I got a pretty good deal on that. I
think we all did.
I never paid them anything.
Yeah, I think we all did.
But yeah, I kind of like, I worked construction in high school. I was an electrician, and one of the guys on the crew, it was like a big classic rock dude, and sometimes he'd play Dead, and like, not a lot, but like, sometimes he would, like, we'd be driving, and I heard a lot of Dead, like, tapes that he had a few in his car, and when I'd be riding to a job site or something, I'd hear some like stuff that wasn't like the radio trucking, and like pretty much the radio just played trucking in my town.
And
like,
Casey Jones, right? Like occasionally.
Yeah, that was like those were it. And I kind of liked it. And then in college, my roommate was like had the best music collection, like, and he slept at his girlfriend's house like every night. So I just had like access to his entire music collection, and I started like listening to like Reckoning and
so good.
just like I'd put a Dead show on from his CDs. He had some Dick's picks and stuff like that, and like I just put it on as I went to sleep at night, and that's kind of how I started really getting into him.
Just kind of became part of your DNA that way.
Yeah, totally.
Off to bed every night.
They would, I would like, his music collection was insane. He had so much. It was the best, and so that's how I got into him.
Nice.
And then some friends started going to shows in like '94, I think, and they were like, we have to go next year. We have to go next year. And that's how I ended up going to Soldier Field in '95 for my first show.
Did you go to both nights or just the first one?
We were there both nights, and we couldn't get tickets for the second night, and we just sat at the back gate and listened to the show, like sat on a blanket
Nice.
outside, and we could hear like pretty well. Like it was an awesome night. I wish I'd have gotten in, but
You were
there.
You soaked it in.
Totally.
So that first night, so who was with you? Did you have a big group of friends? Was it a ton of people? People you still
No, it
hang
was
with
just
today?
Yeah, like I went with my friend Aaron and another friend Pip, and Pip's not with us anymore, but he was a bass player in my first band, and I played guitar really bad back then. And Pip decided to join. Like we mail ordered for the one show, and got like 13th row tickets. So like we had sweet tickets. And Pip decided to come with us like last minute, and we actually got him down with us in our seats,
Nice.
which was sweet. And it was it's all downhill from there.
Yeah, no doubt. So the lot getting in there, did you guys get there early in the day and
Yeah, I
just
like
commence to take it all in, as they say.
my friends were living in Minneapolis, and I was working in a psychiatric unit at the time, and like I'd been working for like 3 weeks straight to get the time off to go to these shows, and I like left. I drove to Minneapolis, stayed the Thursday night or whatever it was, the night before in Minneapolis, and we left at like 6 a.m. and drove straight from Minneapolis to Chicago and went straight to the lot. I think we got there at like noon. And then just watching like Shakedown fill in around us and watching it happen. And I was 21 years old. It was like my kind of scene. But I was like, we got to get beer and stuff. And my buddy was like, oh, no, we're going to buy beer from people on the lot because that's how they support themselves. That's how they make it to the next show. Like, we're not buying T-shirts inside. We're going to support the lot. And so, like, I had that mentality in my head of, like, I'm going to support these people, you know?
Mm-hmm. And the beer's better in the lot, too, usually.
Oh, yeah. I mean, coming from North Dakota in 95, too, like, I had no idea what nuggets were. Like, if I'm being honest, there just weren't. There was just brick in North Dakota. So, like, I think, like, 10 minutes outside of the car after we stepped out, somebody puffed me down with, like, completely the best weed I'd ever even imagined in my life. And then the party like started at like and I was partying like I was like when you see somebody on the lot and you're like, oh, that dude ain't gonna make it to the show, like like I got lucky in a way because people were like, the Jaeger guy, the guy selling Jaeger shots, was like just kept coming up to me, and I don't know how many Jaeger shots I did, and then the balloons started coming by, and I hit the ground. I laid down on the ground and passed out at like 3 p.m, and I woke up in a lawn chair with like these old Deadheads that were like, you know, they're probably like 55, 60, something like that, you know. And they were like, I had my shirt off, and I'm in a lawn chair, and I was like, where's my shirt, you know? And they're like, dude, we've been watching you party, and you're like doing it all wrong, man. Like, they're like, we watched you, and you just like, this guy like handed you a bottle of Jaeger and told you if you finished it you could have it for free, and you like chugged the rest of a handle of, and I don't like, it was probably like they're like, you like just chugged like the last of a bottle of Jaeger, and then you like were walking around and you had a balloon, and the next thing we knew, we like looked over, it was these two old Deadheads, and they were like sitting on each side of me and like giving me water, and like I was like, where's my shirt, man? And they're like, oh, you like puked, and then you laid down, and then you rolled into it, kind of. So we like took your shirt off, but they're like, you have another shirt in your pocket, like right there. you bought one, and they're like, you have another shirt in your back pocket. So I like had 2 T-shirts sticking up, and I was like, oh sweet. Like
Plus planning ahead.
Yeah,
Planning
and
ahead
like
there.
no, I was on that lot for like an hour, and I probably spent like $100. Like I was just like T-shirts, shots, beer, just like I lost. Like I just got into the party way too hard, and I was 21 and young and dumb. So like those dudes were like, dude, you're doing it all wrong, and like this is all about the music. Like this is what you just did. Like people come here and do that all the time, but it's like not cool. Like you're not gonna even, you weren't like, you got to just drink some water, man. And they kept forcing water on me, and I like barfed up all the Jaeger. So like I was like starting to come around again, and they just sat, and I lost my friends too. They were like looking for a ticket, and I like was just hanging out with these old hippies, that like old deadheads that had been to like hundreds of shows, and they were like, you know, like you're gonna see this thing tonight, and you're gonna understand like the music is why you come here. Like the party is like a secondary thing, but you'll see tonight, you'll see when you get in there that it's about the music, and it's about the community, and it's about like, you don't have to like chug a bottle of Jaeger the first thing you get on. And I was like, I felt like stupid, you know, and like,
you know, but but them taking the time out to
oh yeah, it was, I mean,
and like,
it was super cool. And like,
yeah,
like they gave me these, still have the stickers, but they gave me like little tiny stickers that was like, one of them says, we must use our lives to make the world a better place to live, not just acquire things. And, an Eric Garcia sticker, and like I kept them, and like it sunk in with me, like, holy God, I'm a moron, like, you know, like I was sitting there probably for like an hour, just they were telling me his stories, and like nursing me back to health, and feeding me, and giving me water, and then I started like, I'm like, especially back then, like I was the master of puke and rally. So like, I was like back into it again, like had a beer with them, and I was like, thank you guys so much, you know, like, and they're like, yeah, you have the best show tonight, man. You're gonna like, and like that kind of just like reset my brain a lot, like in life in general, like of like you don't need to be wasted to like enjoy what's happening or whatever, you know. So like,
yeah, for sure,
I went into that show like feeling like all this love, and like really open to like taking it in, the music. And yeah, like that night I was like, I'm gonna learn how to play an instrument, because I like knew how to play guitar. I knew how to play, like, at that point I didn't even really know all the notes on the guitar. I knew like a few chords, and like I was like, I'm gonna start a band. I'm gonna learn how to play music. I'm gonna start a band. And like that was like the first time that had ever like popped in my head of like, this is something that you could do, you know.
Yeah,
and
this band has that power. Like, I mean, once you get there, it from that point you can see you're going this way, and then that point happens, and then suddenly you're going a different way. And
it was like a life-changing day in my life. Also, like, I kind of became a lot dad. Like, I was like, so like through my years of like being on Fish Tour, being on Dead Show, and like even my businesses, like my driving people to I've driven over like 15,000 people to concerts in Colorado with Planetary Transport and biodiesel for bands. And like, I always think of it like, that's my job now, is to like, oh, that kid needs help or whatever, you know, like, so I kind of like, my friends make fun of me. They're like, oh, lot dad, you know, like we'll be walking down, I'm like, hang on a second, guys, I got to go I got to go help this kid, So like, oh, a lot, Dad. But yeah, I think a lot of that started that day. Like,
That's awesome.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Like,
yeah, it just never never ceases to surprise me that the people that, no matter the age, no matter how long they've been there, whether this is their second show or their 100th show, that they're willing to try to show somebody the way and make the scene better and keep it alive as long as we could. So
yeah,
it's
like,
did you carry that on?
it's
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like nowadays, I would have had those guys' Facebook and Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, we'd probably still be friends, but like, I have no idea who those guys are, if they're still alive. They're probably like 80 or 90 years old now. And
Right.
it's crazy. It's crazy to think about.
Hey now, do you have a great story about a Grateful Dead show you were at? I'd love to hear it and maybe have you on the podcast. Send me an email at will@talesfromthelot.org and let me know what show you would like to talk about and what made it so special to you.
Yeah, so that night, walking into the show and just like, that was the first time I'd ever seen anything like an entire Soldier Field, just the energy of that many people, and like, and then the first notes of Jack Straw came on, and I would like looked around, like I was just looking at taking it in, and like the dancing, and like I remember looking up to the side of the stage to the right, and the whole section of people they were just like getting down, like, and I was like, holy, like it blew my mind. Like, but that Jack Straw, I thought, that was like, that right there, I just like got into it, right? And when I see live music, I like pretty much watch most shows, but like on the backs of my eyelids. Mm-hmm. So after that, like, I don't remember much about other than just having my eyes closed and getting down, and people handing me joints and stuff, like,
speaking of those first few notes, I mean, if there's a world record for like the most people smiling at the same time, like maybe there's like, we just need to figure out whichever Grateful Dead show was the biggest, and that's probably it. Just like those first few notes, everybody in that whole stadium had a giant grin on their face.
Yeah,
there's a record for that. They've probably got it.
Probably like Watkins Glen.
Something like something like that.
Deadheads are like one of my biggest customers, like in taking people to shows, like taking fans to shows in my buses.
How does that work, and where are you at, and how are you doing that, and what's up with the shuttle service? So I we're friends on Facebook, so I see you mentioned you're taking people to Red Rocks, I think, in Mishawaka, and so
yeah. So we do shuttles to like the Red Rock shows, Mishawaka shows in Denver. Most of the times there's like First Bank Center shows in Broomfield. We go to most of those.
And is this just Dead and Co. and Fish, or like what's the extent of
we go to like
Rod
pretty
Stewart,
much
really?
Almost, yeah. I mean, I've gone to everybody from like Hall and Oates to like all, we go to like anywhere where people are partying, any show. Like we don't get a lot of demand for like I'm trying to think of it, like
one of those
like
groups.
Like Red Rock shows or like electronic dance music. We go to whatever shows people want to go to. We do private charters for like groups of friends that want to go, or we do shuttles where everyone can buy individual tickets.
And they just park somewhere. Like you have
we just park. People party for a little bit, go into the show, and then hopefully they get back and I wrangle people back into the bus and get them home safely. And
Nice. Lot Dad goes out there and makes sure everybody's
yeah, I mean,
accounted for.
I'm pretty good at talking to people who are tripping and lost on a phone and like getting them back to the bus, especially from like Red Rocks. I'm like, no, you're in Upper North, man. You need to be in Lower South. You have a long way to walk. Like, just stay put. We'll come get you. You know, like stuff like that.
Right. Do you do dicks also for fish and then like Boulder?
Yeah, we've done almost every Dick's show. I think there's like one or two that we didn't drive a bus or a van or something to. But yeah, and the cover band, like the tribute bands, it's amazing, like that I can fill a bus to like Shakedown Street in Boulder or something, and like it happens all the time, and like literally when I was starting this out, like there was times when like J-Rad or Dark Star or somebody would be playing, or Shakedown Street, and like I'd fill a bus with Deadheads in like January, my slow season, and
nice,
and it would like save my ass. Like I can't even count how many times a Dead and related show like saved like let me pay my electric bill and stuff, you know, when we were first starting out. And
are these biodiesel? Is that right?
Yeah, we run all our buses on biodiesel as much as like the highest blends that we can, and we plant trees to cover the petroleum that we do use, and we are the first carbon neutral transportation company in America. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's
good on you, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
We also are working, like we're building a fleet of biodiesel and other we're looking for investment right now to build like a fossil fuel free fleet for musicians to tour in, like vans, buses, even like cars for like stand-up comedians that need to go on a run, like instead of renting a car from an airport. Like a lot of stand-up comedians will like fly into Denver and then rent a car and drive to like 4 or 5 gigs and then fly back or whatever. But I mean, our goal when we started the company was to change the way like musicians tour, and the party buses to concerts just was kind of like a secondary thing that happened. And that's been like what's been working so far, until we can find some money to build this fleet and be like a fossil. I mean, like we're trying to be the first musician-owned fossil fuel-free transportation company, and doing that with biodiesel, electric buses, electric vans, and hybrids.
Sweet.
And that's
okay. So
that's the goal of that.
If somebody's in North Central Colorado going to a show, they wanted to hop on a bus, how would they find it?
Just go to planetarytransportcompany.com,
okay.
and you can buy shuttle seats right there.
Okay.
We're like on a hiatus right now until the COVID the outdoor shows start again. But yeah, there's we'll be going to all the shows this summer. Yeah, it's fun and safe and affordable, and yeah,
for sure. Definitely better than my drive from Denver up to Red Rocks. Kind of, it's not easy in the middle of the night, for certain. So yeah,
totally
awesome. All right, and so so are you seeing Dead and Company these days, or what's are you still? I know you're driving. I mean, I guess you're there now, and
yeah, like I've seen most of the Dead and Company shows at Folsom. Mm-hmm. I saw the first one that they played at First Bank Center. I think it was called Broomfield Event Center back then when they first played there. But I saw those shows. My like J-Rad is like my jam now. I love what J-Rad's doing with the catalog.
I think that's the last time I saw you. Actually, we were both in line for J-Rad at Red Rocks.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah. That's my favorite band to see right now. I like Dead and Company quite a bit. Like, it's just not the same to me, I guess. And I dig it. Like, and I'm also, full disclosure, I've been sober for every one of those except for one. Like, I've been driving, so like yeah, it's that's what it is. Like,
it's different in many ways besides that.
But and I still love the O'Teal's one of my favorite bass players. Let's see, the people are still there, and that's a huge part of the whole experience. So,
for sure. Yeah, I think the people are still there. I think Mayer takes it seriously and has done his homework, and I mean, it's 100% not the same kind of thing, but is what is the same kind of thing 30 years later, no matter what you're talking about. So, it's still alive, it's still there, and people that weren't lucky like ourselves to be able to catch it, the original, can still get a glimpse of what was going on, at least back then.
Totally. I love that the kids, like, I have like 21-year-old kids jumping on the bus to like head to Folsom Field or head to J-Rad shows and stuff, and I love it that it's hanging on and it's getting new people hooked. And I mean, Robert Hunter is a prophet, and and him and Jerry together, and what Jerry does with, you know what I mean, like that those songs are like, they're so good, they're gonna live forever with the people, like Bach and Beethoven and all that stuff. Like, it's just too good, and like for it to die. It's like, I keep seeing like all these kids just having a blast, and it's fun to see. Like,
yeah, for certain. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've got a question. So, just one recommendation, whether it's a movie, a book, an album, a TV show, something that you think is really kick-ass that people should go check out if they've got free time and they're looking for something to check out.
I think Lamb by Christopher Moore is it's something everybody should read. It's hilarious. It's just check out Lamb by Christopher Moore. It's probably one of the most entertaining books you'll ever read.
All right.
And it'll make you think. And yeah.
Awesome. I'll put it on my list.
Nice.
All right. Eric, thank you for being here and telling your awesome lot story and about your endeavors. And I really do appreciate you coming on.
Hell yeah. Thanks for having me. We'll see you soon.
All right. Thanks.